You ever see two people so toxic they make Zeus Network look like a Disney Channel special? Because what just went down between Chrisean Rock, Blueface, and Jaidyn Alexis just broke the entire internet again. Except this time, it's not about punches, cheating, or Instagram lives. Nah. This time, it's court papers, leaked recordings, and a level of drama so wild it makes the Kardashians look like monks on a silent retreat. Apparently, Chrisean Rock just dragged Blueface straight into the courtroom lawsuit style. And right when people thought she'd finally moved on, Jaidyn Alexis came swinging with a secret recording that flipped the internet upside down. We're talking leaked audio, screaming, receipts, and energy so chaotic it could power an entire Zeus season. Blueface thought he was untouchable Mr. I'm trending every week, but this time, Chrisean came with lawyers, evidence, and a social media army chanting justice for baby Jr. Meanwhile, Jaidyn's sitting in the back like a director watching her own soap opera unfold live on TikTok. This isn't a breakup. This is a digital demolition derby. And if you thought you'd seen peak drama before, buckle up. Because what's coming next will make Hollywood lawyers call in sick. Alright, let's rewind. This messy reality show meets courtroom disaster. Because this story didn't just start with a lawsuit, it started with a love triangle dipped in chaos, sprinkled with delusion, and broadcast live for the whole world to see. Chrisean Rock and Blueface have been fighting harder than rappers in a bet parking lot for years. What started as a ride-or-die relationship turned into a demolition derby of broken furniture, viral lives, and public meltdowns. These two didn't just date, they declared emotional warfare and invited the internet to watch every round. But after all the punches, tears, and we're good now interviews, something snapped in Chrisean. The girl who used to tattoo Blueface's face on her neck finally said, "Enough." Except Chrisean doesn't just move on quietly, she flips the script, sets it on fire, and serves it to the judge with a side of receipts. Word hit that Chrisean's been lawyering up for weeks. At first, people thought it was another publicity stunt, typical Chrisean chaos. But then TMZ dropped the bomb. Chrisean Rock officially filed a lawsuit against Blueface. And the claim? Alleged assault, emotional abuse, and damage to her brand. Blueface fans tried to laugh it off, saying, "Ain't no way. She's bluffing," but when the screenshots of the court documents leaked, the internet went into cardiac arrest. There it was, her name, his name, a case number, and the word plaintiff. Twitter turned into a courtroom. TikTok went full detective mode. People were replaying old clips like they were FBI evidence. Then enter Jaidyn Alexis, the forever other woman who's been orbiting this mess since season 1 of their chaos saga. She could have stayed quiet. She could have let the EXEs destroy each other. But no. Jaidyn decided to turn this lawsuit into content. Out of nowhere, a video started circulating allegedly recorded by Jaidyn herself. No filters, no editing, just raw, messy audio of Blueface and Chrisean going at it behind closed doors. You could hear yelling, furniture moving, and someone saying, "You gon' regret this." The video spread faster than a little Tay rumor. Within minutes, Blueface recording was trending on X, and here's where it gets insane. Fans started connecting dots. The timeline matched. The voice in the background sounded suspiciously like Blue. The recording wasn't just gossip, it was evidence. Every gossip blog from the Shade Room to Hollywood Unlocked had their digital popcorn out. One caption literally said, "This is giving courtroom reality TV." Comment sections turned into fan trials. One side was screaming Chrisean deserves justice, while the other side said, "They both need therapy and Wi-Fi limits." Blueface, being the professional troll he is, jumped straight onto Twitter like, "Ain't nobody suing me. Y'all believe anything." But fans weren't buying it. Screenshots of legal notices started floating around, and a video of Chrisean walking into a courthouse in a pink hoodie and shades surfaced. You could practically hear the Judge Judy theme playing in the background, and, right when people thought the story couldn't get any messier, boom, Jaidyn drops a cryptic Instagram story. It was just a laughing emoji. The words told y'all, and a mic drop gif. Internet detonated. Suddenly everyone had a theory. Some claimed Jaidyn leaked the recording to help Chrisean. Others said she did it to ruin both of them and promote her new single. Either way, her name was trending right next to theirs. Mission accomplished. But let's talk about the real shocker. Chrisean's legal team didn't deny the recording. They doubled down. One of her alleged legal reps posted something like, "We're aware of all digital material submitted." Translation: "We got receipts and we're ready to use them." At that point, even Blueface's fans started sweating. Because for years, he'd played the internet like a game of Monopoly, creating chaos, trending, cashing in, and repeating. But lawsuits? That's not something you can meme your way out of. This was real paperwork, real consequences, and real damage control. Hollywood insiders started whispering that Blueface's endorsements were freezing up. One brand reportedly paused their deal until the case settled. That's when you know it's serious, when the money starts ghosting. Meanwhile, Chrisean was milking the moment like a PR queen. She wasn't just silent, she was strategically silent. Every fan page was waiting for her next move. Her cryptic tweet, "God sees everything," got over 1 million views in hours. The girl turned passive aggression into performance art, and the fans? They were addicted. People who hadn't cared about Blueface since Thotiana were suddenly courtroom experts. You had TikTok lawyers breaking down potential defamation clauses like they passed the bar exam. You had YouTubers making 40-minute breakdowns titled, "The recording that could end Blueface's career." The internet was eating it up like a Kardashian scandal, with better soundtrack music than like something out of a movie. New reports claimed that Chrisean's side had more than one recording, that there were multiple incidents, and Jaidyn might have accidentally exposed a pattern. Now everyone was side-eyeing Jaidyn like, "Girl, are you helping or sabotaging?" But the truth didn't matter. The damage was done. The internet had already picked its villain, and for once, it wasn't Chrisean. Even major influencers jumped in. Some were mocking, some were serious, but everyone was talking. One viral tweet read, "Chrisean Rock suing Blueface is like Harley Quinn taking Joker to court. You can't make this up." Another said, "This ain't love, it's a lawsuit with child support." And honestly, they weren't wrong, because this wasn't just another fight between two reality stars. This was the collapse of one of hip-hop's most chaotic love stories, now turned into a courtroom soap opera. Chrisean wasn't just done emotionally, she was coming for his career, his brand, and his peace of mind. And the wildest part, Jaidyn Alexis, who's been quietly cashing checks while watching this disaster unfold, might be the one holding the key to everything. That recording? It didn't just go viral, it could change the entire case. But just when you think you've seen the endo, trust me, it's only the first act. Because Blueface was about to do something even the internet didn't see coming, something that would flip public sympathy faster than a Zeus reunion episode. And when that happened, every single person who laughed at Chrisean was about to choke on their popcorn. If you thought the first half of this circus was wild, what happened next turned Hollywood gossip into a courtroom thriller. Blueface woke up to headlines about lawsuits, recordings, and lawyers circling him like vultures, and instead of calling his attorney, he called his Instagram story. Because when you're Blueface, you don't defend yourself legally, you defend yourself digitally. Within hours, he posted a series of memes that could make the Supreme Court cringe. One showed a judge running from Chrisean with the caption, "I rest my case." Another had him photoshopped in a suit holding stacks of cash with the words, "Ain't no lawsuit big enough." The internet didn't know whether to laugh or call security, and just like that, the circus tent reopened. Hashtags exploded across social media. Hashtag Blueface versus Chrisean, hashtag court clown, hashtag justice for baby junior, each one spicier than the last. TikTok detectives were cutting together courtroom edits with dramatic background music, turning the case into a digital soap opera. Even random influencers with zero connection to the story were suddenly experts, analyzing voice inflections and timestamps like FBI analysts. It was no longer just a lawsuit, it was the Super Bowl of celebrity chaos. But then, like a plot twist written by Zeus Network itself, Jaidyn Alexis entered the chat again. The woman who was supposed to be done with the drama went live with her signature smirk and a line so cryptic it broke the internet. "Y'all ain't heard everything yet, That single sentence sent gossip blogs into cardiac arrest. Everyone was convinced there were more recordings, longer, louder, and far more incriminating. Reddit turned into CSI, Los Angeles. Users were digging through old clips, matching audio wavelengths, and debating whether Blueface's hoodie wrestled at the 213 mark like it did in another leaked video. As hours passed, rumors spread that Jaidyn had multiple tapes, and not just of shouting matches, but of private conversations that could bury Blueface faster than his own bad PR. If you thought the first half of this circus was wild, what happened next turned Hollywood gossip into a courtroom thriller. Blueface woke up to headlines about lawsuits, recordings, and lawyers circling him like vultures, and instead of calling his attorney, he called his Instagram story. Because when you're Blueface, you don't defend yourself legally, you defend yourself digitally. Within hours, he posted a series of memes that could make the Supreme Court cringe. One showed a judge running from Chrisean with the caption, "I rest my case." Another had him photoshopped in a suit holding stacks of cash with the words, "Ain't no lawsuit big enough." The internet didn't know whether to laugh or call security, and just like that, the circus tent reopened. Hashtags exploded across social media. Hashtag Blueface versus Chrisean, hashtag court clown, hashtag justice for baby junior, each one spicier than the last. TikTok detectives were cutting together courtroom edits with dramatic background music, turning the case into a digital soap opera. Even random influencers with zero connection to the story were suddenly experts, analyzing voice inflections and timestamps like FBI analysts. It was no longer just a lawsuit, it was the Super Bowl of celebrity chaos. But then, like a plot twist written by Zeus Network itself, Jaidyn Alexis entered the chat again. The woman who was supposed to be done with the drama went live with her signature smirk and a line so cryptic it broke the internet. "Y'all ain't heard everything yet." That single sentence sent gossip blogs into cardiac arrest. Everyone was convinced there were more recordings, longer, louder, and far more incriminating. Reddit turned into CSI, Los Angeles. Users were digging through old clips, matching audio wavelengths, and debating whether Blueface's hoodie wrestled at the 213 mark like it did in another leaked video. As hours passed, rumors spread that Jaidyn had multiple tapes, and not just of shouting matches, but of private conversations that could bury Blueface faster than his own bad PR. Some claimed she'd been saving them for her own protection, others swore she'd cut a deal with Chrisean's team. Either way, the internet smelled blood, and Blueface's cool guy facade started to crack. For once, the self-proclaimed Thodiana King looked nervous, but of course, Blueface did what Blueface does best: he doubled down. He hopped on live, pacing shirtless through his house, waving his phone like a Mick, denying everything while simultaneously admitting everything in the same sentence. He called the recordings fake, edited, and old, all within 60 seconds. At one point, he even said, "Man, if I really did all that, I'd be in jail." The comments section immediately exploded with people typing, "That's the point." Meanwhile, Chrisean stayed silent. No rants, no cryptic tweets, no lives, just silence, the kind that drives the internet insane. Because silence from someone as loud as Chrisean Rock doesn't mean peace. It means war is loading. People began theorizing that her legal team told her to go ghost while they gathered receipts. Even her closest friends hinted at something big coming. That phrase alone sent every blog from Hollywood unlocked to no jumper into overdrive. Then, out of nowhere, TMZ dropped a bombshell headline. Leaked audio may be submitted as evidence in Chrisean's case. The article didn't confirm which clip, but it mentioned multiple digital materials being reviewed. Translation: Jaidyn's recordings might actually end up in court. The internet collectively lost its mind. Blueface's lawyers probably did too. Because once that kind of evidence becomes public record, no meme or music video can save your image. And yet, instead of apologizing or laying low, Blueface leaned into his villain arc. He started tweeting jokes about the situation, like, "They can't sue a player if they still in love." The man turned his legal downfall into a comedy special. But behind the scenes, whispers started that record labels were panicking. One insider allegedly claimed that sponsors were re-evaluating partnerships until the court drama settled. And in Hollywood terms, that means no one wants to touch your brand until you stop trending for the wrong reasons. Fans noticed too. Blueface's once constant live streams slowed down. His posts got fewer likes. People weren't laughing with him anymore, they were watching to see how low he could go. And every time Jaidyn or Chrisean made even the smallest move, social media reset the scoreboard like it was an NBA playoff. Jaidyn, sensing her moment, dropped a not-so-subtle diss track teaser on her story. The caption read, "If the shoe fits, wear it." The background music? A sample that sounded suspiciously like Blueface's voice. The internet didn't need confirmation, they crowned her the queen of chaos immediately. You couldn't scroll for 5 minutes without seeing an edit of all three of them labeled hip-hop's toxic trinity. But what really pushed the narrative over the edge was when celebs started weighing in. Everyone from Lil Duval to Cardi B chimed in with reactions. Cardi posted, "This relationship been crazier than Zeus subscriptions." Lil Duval joked, "This the first court case that needs a soundtrack." Even Meek Mill tweeted something cryptic about how love can destroy your bag. Each comment became its own headline, keeping the story alive like an drip of gossip. And while the memes kept circulating, something darker began unfolding. Screenshots surfaced of court dates being scheduled. Lawyers started issuing statements like, "Our client is seeking accountability." Translation: "This is no longer entertainment, it's litigation." Suddenly, the same fans who were laughing at memes started realizing this might end with real jail time. Blueface's bravado started fading in real time. His next few lives were noticeably quieter, more defensive, more human. Gone were the memes now. He was saying things like, "Y'all don't know what really goes on behind the scenes," which, ironically, was exactly the problem. The behind the scenes was now public. Every text, every argument, every recording had been weaponized. Meanwhile, Chrisean's supporters began mobilizing. She started trending with tags like #ProtectChrisieAnn and #RockForJustice. Even people who used to clown her were switching sides, calling her resilient, strong, and done being a victim. The woman who'd once been the punchline was now the protagonist. And then came the ultimate twist. Screenshots surfaced of Blueface allegedly messaging Jaidyn, asking her to delete the files. It was over after that. The internet crowned him guilty before the judge even set the trial date. Every gossip YouTuber uploaded their Blueface's empire crumbles video within hours. Even mainstream outlets like Complex and XXL were running full-blown coverage. What had started as another messy breakup had transformed into a digital courtroom saga with real-world stakes. Blueface's brand was crumbling, Jaidyn was milking fame from the sidelines, and Chrisean for once was the one holding the power. It was poetic, tragic, and chaotic all at once, and as the dust settled, the world realized this wasn't just about love gone wrong. This was about control, revenge, and the cost of going viral. Because when your whole relationship is built for the internet eventually wants its cut in likes, views, and humiliation. Blueface thought he was starring in another headline. What he didn't realize, he'd just become the punchline of his own legacy. By a time part 3 of this real-life soap opera kicked in. The internet had officially crowned it the trial of toxicity. The drama had evolved from memes and lives to actual courtroom showdowns. Paparazzi cameras flashing like lightning, and hashtags that refused to die. It was no longer about who was right or wrong, it was about who could survive the internet longer. The courthouse in downtown Law looked more like the BET Awards. Fans, bloggers, and influencers showed up like they were attending a premiere. You had people live streaming outside, fake reporters doing TikTok lives yelling, Chrisean just walked in wearing pink, and others chanting, "Free Baby Jr." as if he was doing time too. It was the kind of public frenzy that only happens when chaos meets celebrity. Inside, Chrisean looked calmer than anyone expected. The same woman who once flipped tables on live TV now sat quietly with her attorney, her baby at home, and an expression that said, "Play with me if you want." Blueface, on the other hand, came in looking more like a rapper doing damage control than a man facing serious claims. Designer clothes, shades indoors, and that trademark smirk like the whole thing was just another music video. But that smirk started to fade real quick. Because as the hearing went on, the judge mentioned digital evidence being reviewed, and everyone in the room knew exactly what that meant: Jaidyn's recordings. The courtroom went silent. The same internet that had been laughing days before suddenly realized this wasn't entertainment anymore. This was career demolition on trial. When the first clip was referenced, not even played, just referenced, Blueface's expression changed instantly. He went from cocky to cornered. His lawyer whispered something, he shook his head, and boom, Twitter had a new meme within 5 minutes. The headline practically wrote itself. Blueface looks shook as judge mentions leaked recording. Meanwhile, Jaidyn was sitting at home watching it all unfold, probably sipping something expensive and pretending she had nothing to do with it. But the irony? Every time her name came up in court, her follower count jumped by 20,000. She had managed to do what reality TV producers dream of: insert herself into chaos, then profit off the backlash. The public's mood shifted dramatically. The same people who once clowned Chrisean for her meltdowns were now praising her strength. Tweets like "she's finally getting justice" and "she warned us about him" flooded the timeline. Even major celebrities who used to stay silent started speaking up. Summer Walker posted, "Protect Chrisean." Cardi B liked a tweet saying, "Blueface finally getting what he deserves." And Megan Thee Stallion, yes. The Megan commented, "About time," under a gossip blog post. That's when Blueface's team realized this wasn't just a legal loss, this was a reputation apocalypse. The man who thrived on trolling was now being trolled by the entire internet. His shows started getting cancelled for scheduling reasons, brand deals quietly disappeared, and fans noticed that even Zeus Network, the chaos capital itself, started scrubbing some of their old clips featuring him. When Zeus distances itself from you, you know you've hit rock bottom. But here's the real kicker: while Blueface's empire was crumbling, Chrisean started reinventing herself. Instead of crying online or throwing shade, she began showing up at charity events, sharing motivational quotes, and posting studio clips of her working on music. For the first time, she was getting press for something other than drama. Her energy shifted, and fans loved it. Suddenly, toxic Chrisean was turning into reborn Chrisean, and just when people thought the fire had died down, a new leak dropped: an unreleased text thread between Blueface and Jaidyn, allegedly showing him begging her to make it disappear. The texts were messy, desperate, and screen captured by half the internet in seconds. You could almost hear his PR team screaming into pillows. Because once the screenshots hit, that was it, his credibility flatlined, blogs started titling it, Blueface's own words bury him, and the memes wrote themselves. One viral tweet read, "He fumbled 2 women, 1 child, 3 careers, and a lawsuit in 1 year. That's a record." Even fans who used to defend him switched sides overnight. The public court of opinion had spoken, and the verdict was unforgiving. By now, Chrisean wasn't even talking. She didn't need to. Every silent photo she posted holding her baby, in a studio, smiling, became symbolic. She had gone from villain to victim to victor. The entire internet that once mocked her now praised her glow up. She was trending not for fighting, but for winning. Blueface, on the other hand, couldn't escape the storm. Every post he made got flooded with clown emojis and "see you in court" comments. He tried to pivot to music, but nobody was listening. Every bar he dropped about haters or fake love just reminded fans of the recordings. His social media empire, the one he built off controversy, was now working against him. Even other rappers started distancing themselves. One producer tweeted, "Bro, too messy for the brand." Another artist unfollowed him mid-scandal. The domino effect was brutal. The industry that once laughed at his antics now treated him like a liability. Because in Hollywood, scandals sell but lawsuits lose money, and as for Jaidyn Alexis, she turned herself into a full-blown influencer. She posted her new single, new brand deals, and interviews where she said things like, "I'm just focusing on me now." The audacity had people both hating and admiring her. Somehow, she walked through this chaos untouched, while the other two went to war. She was the spectator who became the star. By the end of it, Blueface's life had gone from Instagram flexes to courtroom sketches. His next project wasn't an album, it was damage control. He started posting Bible verses, motivational quotes, and apologies written in lowercase letters like "I'm human too." But the internet doesn't do redemption arcs for free. They wanted punishment, not poetry. Chrisean, on the other hand, was glowing. Rumors swirled about a reality show focusing on her new life, a possible music deal, and even a documentary. Her name had officially detached from Blueface's shadow. The lawsuit didn't just bring justice, it brought closure. And the most poetic part, the same recording that Jaidyn Alexis leaked to destroy her ended up being the proof that saved her. It's almost cinematic. The woman once mocked as crazy walked out of chaos clean. And the man who called himself unbreakable got broken by his own ego. The story of Chrisean and Blueface wasn't just gossip anymore, it became a cultural case study in how fame, ego, and social media can turn love into litigation. It's what happens when you build your entire relationship for likes only to end up trending for loss. By a time the final judgment was whispered across social feeds, Blueface's name had become clickbait for the wrong reasons. Chrisean's name had become redemption. And the internet? It did what it always does, moved on to the next scandal, leaving behind another digital graveyard of screenshots, hashtags, and broken reputations. But one thing's for sure, no one will ever say toxic couple goals again without thinking of these two. Because this wasn't love. This was viral vengeance. And there you have it, the toxic fairy tale that went from ride or die to subpoena or cry. Chrisean Rock didn't just walk away, she walked into court and took the Wi-Fi with her. Blueface thought he could meme his way through another scandal, but this time, the jokes ran out and the judge clocked in. Jaidyn Alexis? She turned the mess into marketing, the drama into downloads, and somehow left with more followers than both of them combined. But let's not lie, you loved every second of it. This was pure 4000 reality chaos, the kind that makes you cancel your plans just to refresh your feed. You came for the tea, stayed for the toxicity, and now you're deep in the fame ripple where scandals don't end. They just reload. So before the next celebrity meltdown hits, smash that like button like it owes you bail money. Drop your take in the comments. Are you team Chrisean, team Blueface, or team everyone needs therapy? And hit that subscribe button harder than Blueface hits go live, because next time, the drama's only getting messier, the receipts are getting louder, and the truth, well, it's always slightly exaggerated around here. Remember, in this game, clout is currency and reputation is disposable. Every follow, every post, every viral clip adds another wave to the storm. And guess what? We're the ones riding it. This is Fame Ripple, where fame doesn't fade, it explodes, implodes, and then trends again. Stay tuned, stay nosy, stay addicted, because somewhere out there, another celebrity is already about to lose their mind. And you know we'll have the receipts. Fame Ripple, where reality comes to drown.